Hi, this lesson is all about how to play diminished chords on the guitar. I love diminished chords so much that there was one particular chord that I always used to put in every song that I wrote, and it's so much so that it led to the people in my band saying, oh, that's Aaron's chord again. And now I try and mix it up a bit, but diminished chords are brilliant. They provide tension, they provide something a bit dirty to your chord sequence. And when you stick one into a piece of music, it demands to be resolved, and sometimes you can resolve it, sometimes you can resolve it some way you don't expect. But what do they sound like? So they sound like this, or like this, or like this. So they're kind of they're quite dramatic sounding chords. How would they sound in context? So I might have a sequence like this. All kinds of things. They're completely movable shapes as well, because they don't use any open strings particularly. So I'll start with the ones on strings 1 to 4. So I'll often do this with a bar, but so if you bar across, it's a half bar really, so if you bar across, we'll start on the 3rd fret, we're going to bar with our 1st finger across 4 strings, and then with our 2nd and 3rd fingers, we're going to be playing fret 4 on strings 1 and 3, whilst barring strings 2 and 4 with our 1st finger. And there we go. If you want to do it this way, you can as well, especially if anyone suffers from RSI and they want to avoid barring. Using your 1st and 2nd fingers on the 2nd and 4th string. Now this is such a nice shape, it can be moved anywhere quickly as well, because the hand position doesn't change. Someone does a bad joke. So that's the first one. The second one is my favourite one, and it's the one that I use all the time, which is using strings 2 to 5. So this one is the way to look at it is if you bar a C, but we're going to bar a C on fret 3, so it's like an A shape with our fingers. So with these 3 fingers, leaving your 1st finger free to bar, we're going to play fret 5 on strings 2, 3 and 4. With that 1st finger, we're going to play bar across fret 5. We don't need to worry about string 6. And then from there, if you release that 1st finger, that 2nd finger, sorry, and then so you're playing an A7 shape. You're actually playing a C7 chord here, and then this finger is free, and that's going to go on the 4th fret. The C sharp, which is the 4th fret on the A string, and it's that note there which provides the darkness, the tension. So if you imagine you're coming from a and it just wants to move, it just wants to go somewhere else, doesn't it? So you can play this chord like, if you don't want to bar this, then you can do it like this. That top chord, that top note. Okay. And the last place to play diminished chords is on the bottom 4 strings. So strings 3 to 6. Now this one is maybe a little bit harder, just because the finger's getting a little bit of can get in a bit of a knot. So what we do is, let's do it on fret 4. So your 2nd finger is going to play fret 4 on the low E string, and your 3rd finger is going to play fret 4 on the 3rd string, like that. And then with these fingers, your 1st finger is going to play the 3rd fret of the D string, and your little finger is going to play the 5th fret of the A string of string 5. This one's nice because it's got the low end. diminished chords. Now you wouldn't want to hear a piece just made up of diminished chords. Well, maybe you would. I don't know how what your ear enjoys. But let me play something now where I use a lot of diminished chords. I use two, climbing up the neck. And in fact, I'll teach you how to play this piece because this uses an interesting right hand technique in another lesson. So it goes like this.